There are not words for it. It is unprecedented. It has never been seen before in football and, in my opinion, in sports. This is the best rookie performance I've ever seen in my life. Pop, what's going on, man?
Woo!
Woo!
Unbelievable.
Wow. Special stuff. I mean, an incredible night. Guys, if you've been living under a rock, the Washington Commanders have defeated the Detroit Lions 45-31. Commanders are going to the NFC East Championship versus either the Rams or the Eagles. We are recording this during that game next day. What a win, man. What a win. Just incredible.
Just amazing. We are, like you said, we needed the night off.
Yeah.
Dominic went out and tore up the town in LA. Apparently closed a couple of bars down, which is great. Celebrating his girlfriend's birthday, and what a great birthday present for her and the crew that you had there watching the game. Absolutely amazing. I mean, you want your mind blown. Guess when we were last in the NFC Championship game?
1991.
33 years ago.
Wow.
I was 4 years younger than you are right now. The last time we made an NFC Championship game.
Wow. I wasn't even a twinkle in Pop's eye. That's incredible.
4 years younger before you are than right now.
It's incredible. I mean, it's just... I mean, we could say it now. You didn't want to say it while the game was going on because, you know, you felt like, okay, Detroit is so good. They're so explosive. Things could change at the drop of a hat. You've got the PTSD from this Commanders team and from what this franchise has done to us in the last 27 years and the last 30 years for people older than me. We whooped their ass. I mean, we put belt to coolie. We absolutely beat on them. I mean, that was a beatdown. It was, and you're looking at this 45-31. It was 45-28. That's a garbage time touchdown they scored. And on top of that, to get to 28, they get that non-phantom face mask call that would have been a punt. If you stopped, there was a tackle for loss on like 3rd and 7 or something like that. It would have been a punt. Probably would have got the ball back. I mean, you could be looking at 52-21.
Strong kickouts of the game candidate there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a field goal that they took to get to 31 because they were just looking to get points on the board, which was an interesting
would be
call
3
by them. But you're right, all intents and purposes, even though the pucker factor was high until the clock hit 0 for me.
Same.
It was it was all but done. It just, I'd be lying if I said I expected to be sitting here talking about going to the NFC Championship. I was not expecting this. I knew anything was possible, but I know you're going to say different. You're going to say you did call it. So go back and watch the last pod. Dom called it. I hedged a bit. I said they'd cover the points, but I didn't go as far as saying I thought they would win. Like I said, anything was possible. I thought they certainly had a chance. But if you think about it, the script of this game went perfectly because what you needed to do was create a situation where they start pressing and Goff starts pressing and you put pressure on him. You know, the pressure that we got on him all day, the push that we had up the middle, I thought was terrific. I think you're starting to see Payne and Allen get their legs under them. And, people talk about them maybe not being the greatest combo. I've seen a difference since John Allen has come back without a doubt. And it's just like they start pressing, and turnovers start building and mounting in critical spots. And you could just see the pans of the crowd. And I tell you, one other thought I had real quick, this is a matchup we could see a bunch in the playoffs over the course of the next 5 to 10 years. Detroit's not going away. That's a great team on the other side of that football. But when you're the number one seed, you come off a bye week, you play a team that's got nothing to lose with that kind of high-powered offense. It just went according to script. They just start pressing, and credit to our defense. We said it as well. I think we were just spot on our keys to the game. We said, look, they're going to get theirs, but we got to get some stops here and there. We got to make some plays here and there. We got to turn the ball over. We got to have a clean game on our side, which we did. So it just went perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just perfect. And from the start, they come out, we defer, we give them the football, 3 plays, -3 yards, minute 15, first drive. Stop, punt the ball, 3 and out. That was huge. Montgomery gets 2 yards. Montgomery, 5-yard tackle for loss from Dante Fowler. Goff misses on 3rd and 13, punt, and you go, that's the recipe. You got to slow down that run game, and then you got to, force Goff to have to make throws that are outside of his depth. We drive down the field. We have a great drive. It was like 8 plays for 51 yards, something like that. And turn the ball over on downs on like the Detroit 28 it was. We got a little cute. Brian Robinson, Marcus Mariota, there was some kind of miscommunication somewhere. Somebody thought they were running a pitch. Somebody thought they were running a tush push. Neither happened. Play got blown up. I lost my mind on Brian Robinson. Hand up, apologies. Thank you for proving me wrong, B-Rob. I owe you one. And
we'll get into the B-Rob topic. Can I just comment on that play really quick?
Sure.
I know you're rolling. Sorry. The thing that I did like about that play, B-Rob might have botched it. Fair enough. I just hated the fact that it was like a fake sneak. Like, if you're going to just pitch it. If you're going to run a pitch play, run the pitch play. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the call at all. Don't get gimmicky in that situation. We converted every other 4th down in the game with Jaden Daniels under center or out of the gun. But but anyway, it ended up not mattering. Good thing it was early in the game.
Yeah. And again, turnover on downs, 0-0. Detroit strikes first, scores a touchdown, and that's when you start to go, oh, maybe we would have wanted those points. 7-3 would look a lot better right here. But again, I was in favor of the process. Pop didn't like the play call. I wasn't as upset about it, but it doesn't matter. We won. We kick a field goal and then fumble. And then this is where you start to go, they fumble in the red zone. That's a 4-point swing, or that's a 7-point swing right there, because you're not stopping them in the red zone. At least at that point in the game, you don't think that that's something that's going to happen with the way they're running the ball.
Yeah, that was huge.
Huge fumble, stop there. 11 play, 76-yard, 5-minute drive touchdown in response to that. We go all the way down the field, score a touchdown in response. At that point, it's 10-7. And then you go, we might have a chance at this thing. Detroit scores back, hits back pretty quickly. We hit back. Jared Goff throws a pick 6. Then they score a response touchdown. We score a touchdown. Big interception, and then the end of half. You go into half.
If we zoom out a little bit, right? If you look at that first half, it's a historic first half. 600 yards between the two teams. It was 31-21 at the half. If you looked at the stat sheet, you'd think that's a full game at that point in the half, right? And a lot of people the score predictions were in that range, probably for the Lions, not us, but a lot of score predictions. There were 4 lead changes before the half. There were 0 lead changes after the half.
Yep.
And, I think those 5 turnovers were just massive, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. Goff was involved in 4 of those, three picks and a fumble. You could talk about how he, kept going for it on 4th down. I think there were just some incredible kind of, if you look at play after play after play and so many big plays through the course of this game, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was just, the Quan Martin pick 6 was massive.
Huge.
Was massive. And I'm sorry, man. It was not a dirty hit on Jared Goff. It was not an illegal hit on Jared Goff. Those kinds of blocks
Commanders
happen.
fan perspective.
those kinds of blocks happen on every play, and you don't zoom in at that point. I know he's wearing number 16 and he did throw the ball that play, but at that point he is not a quarterback. And if your wide receiver gets blocked like that, nobody says anything. If the defensive back gets blocked like that, nobody says anything. If a linebacker gets blocked like that, nobody says anything. And in that play, in that moment, he is a linebacker, a defensive back, a safety. He is not a quarterback. It's not illegal. I wouldn't be happy if that happened to my quarterback. I'm not saying Lions fans
I was going to say
should be celebrating.
If it was against Jaden, you'd have a very.
But if we're going to talk about a dirty play, how about the unnecessary roughness on Jaden on the read option?
They were both unnecessary,
just for the heck of it.
They were both unnecessary hits, and in my opinion, honestly, I think the Luvu was probably more of borderline than their hit against Jaden. But if they had thrown a flag there, I don't think he complained. It was right around the helmet era. That was a pretty vicious hit. It knocked him out of the game for a bit, But like you said, goes both ways. We got the call; they didn't. So,
and we would have. The bottom line is, like, if you want to equate that to that face mask penalty, the phantom face mask penalty that gave them their touchdown in the third quarter, that wasn't even. It's not even equivalent because we would have scored. We were in the red zone. We were in the red zone. If we take back that touchdown, we would have scored.
Anybody on the Lions side that's reaching for stuff like that is reaching. I mean, like you said, it was a clear victory. I don't even think, it is what it is. I can understand both sides of the coin. But I agree. If we focus on the play, that Quan Martin interception, that
amazing
made it 24-14. And after that point, now the play before that, I think was also incredible, which was Terry going for 58 yards on the screen. So if we're going a little bit in sequence, right? That was the last lead change of the game. Terry takes a screen pass. So like a lot of people are going to shower all the credit on Jaden, and certainly without Jaden, none of this is possible. But a lot of guys stepped up in this game, as you'll tell by the number of helmet stickers we're going to give out during our awards section, right? And Terry that run was incredible. He was not to be denied. He said it's something he's really been focusing on, his yak. That gets us to 17-14. Like I said, the lead never changes again. Quan with the pick six was amazing. I mean, that's another momentum build to get that 10-point lead. And it kind of went from, we kind of got, they'd get close, get within 3, then we'd be back up 10. I think another incredible thing here, that the offense, other than kneel downs, was only stopped 3 times. 1 punt, the 4th down play, which you already covered, and the missed field goal in the second half on the 4th and 1, which you could have argued we should have just kept going for it there. It was a smart football play to try to get up 17. You pretty much end the game with that field goal attempt. As much as you love Zane, he's shaky, man. He's shaky. He's shaky, but we got to ride with him. I love the kid just as a person, but
nothing but love for the guy.
I think that Terry play was great.
Yeah, that Terry play, and in the context of the game, is just so important because the drive before that, Detroit goes down the field 70 plays, 70 yards in response to our touchdown. Crowd is rocking at that point in Detroit. They're up 14-10. You're going, oh my gosh. Sam Laporta made what could have very easily been, if this game went the way everybody thought, could have easily been the play of the game. Our paisan, Sam Laporta, makes that catch one-handed. Just I tell you what, you got a room of hot-tempered Commanders fans here. We sat there and we all just went like this.
Oh, it's great. That's all you could do. I did the same thing. I just, Maria Christina said, "Oh my God," and I was like, "What can you do?"
Yeah, we literally just
catch. It's a one-handed catch. It was a fantastic
unbelievable play.
Unbelievable play. They're out there. They're a great team. They're going to make some plays too. And I agree. Yeah, fantastic.
For us to respond that way with that touchdown, and then the pick six after that. Those two drives, in my opinion, is the most important sequence of the game because you
like I
respond with the
said, only
touchdown.
3 times, and 2 of those were on us. We stopped
Yep.
ourselves. So
Yep.
that offense is incredible. It just couldn't be stopped, right? I mean, Detroit's hurting on defense, no question about it. They're not, we're going to play a much better defense next week. I will say that.
Yeah.
But we knew going in. Right? I think our defense is maligned at times, but they were able to make a lot more plays than the Detroit defense was able to make.
Yeah, and another key moment was we get the ball back with about 4 minutes left. And I said, this is the most important 8 minutes of the game right here. When we get the ball back with 4 minutes left in the second quarter, because we're getting the ball back in the third quarter, right? And we hit a deep ball to De'Ami Brown, which, by the way,
was amazing.
At this point in the game, and I was texting Pop early. Pop was not happy about the 4th down conversion. He was stressed out.
We're let losing. That go.
He couldn't let it go. We're making big plays. And I said to him, Dad, Jaden started the game like 8 for 8, and he does it every week, so we don't notice. But I was like, Jaden is dialed today. He is locked in. Wow. This is what we need out of Jaden to win the game. We just got to stick around. That's all I was telling Dad. We just got to stick around.
I agree.
And we hit that deep ball, which was just an unbelievable throw by Jaden Daniels. And again, they just become more and more routine for us. And De'Ami Brown had a guy covering his face and just had to go like this. All he had to do was go like this because he knew that ball was coming right down.
I'm telling you, this might be a bit of Astrom syndrome, although I don't know if that disease is dead now. We'll have to ask JP. We'll have to ask JP. But De'Ami's looking like a viable candidate for a number 2. He just is balling. I love his size. I love his toughness. You look at a catch like that, the focus. Something, and Cliff Kingsbury talked about it, something's clicked in it. He talked about his work ethic that may not necessarily have been there earlier in the year, but he's seen it dial up. Maybe not at the level it is now. People talk about his drop. That ball got knocked out of his hands. Sometimes their guys make plays too.
It was a heck of a play by the DB.
Yeah, I looked at it as a good play by a defensive back.
Yeah.
He's played. I mean, did you see Terry's press conference talking about De'Ami? He got emotional. He got choked up. He said he's just so happy for how good he's playing. And, I think ultimately, you play this thing out. Maybe the wrong Brown was getting the minutes and getting the reps.
Yeah,
because De'Ami's been terrific. And, I mean, look, what more do you need? 2 playoff games. That duo of Terry, 2 and 17, has been just about as good as any duo you could hope for.
Yep.
So if you're going to step up, that's the time to do it. And, talk about winning time moments. I'm just so happy for De'Ami. I was not a De'Ami Brown fan prior to this season. Not in the least. So to see a guy come out and do what he's been able to do and really prove himself and be dynamic. We're seeing him make mid-range catches. I don't even know if that's a term, but you know what I mean? Like,
over the middle,
15,
intermediate,
20-yard catches. We're seeing him in the screen game. We know he can go deep and not throw. We have to have a Jaden Daniels discussion right now. We waited too long. It's incredible. He's already elevated himself at this point to a top 5 quarterback conversation. He's elevated himself to arguably the best quarterback in the NFC. I'm not saying I think you start with Mahomes,
Lamar and Allen.
Lamar, Allen, Burrow. You start with those 4. Like you do. It's just fact. They've done it for longer. They've proven it over years. You start with those 4. Who's left? At that point, and I will tell you this, I'm not trading Jaden Daniels for anybody in the league.
Yep.
Not anyone. That doesn't mean I think he's better than those guys. But if you look at him as a rookie and what's coming in front of him, and he's got room for improvement, that's the scary part. he's got room for improvement. In passing, I think it's some decision making, we're nitpicking, but you can see. And I think he's going to continue to improve as long as he can stay healthy, which is all that matters. I'm going to let you go, but he is phenomenal.
And I will tell
Best
you
rookie
what,
ever.
and that is that R word, rookie.
Doesn't apply anymore, yeah.
It's the only thing creating separation between those first four. It's like you have to, with Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, and Allen. And I'm not saying he's better than any one of those guys, but what I will say, you can't because of the fact that, he's only played 12, 17, 19 games, NFL games at this point. But if we're doing the alien got dropped off on Earth, who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now test? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say anything too crazy while this playoff run's still going on, but this kid,
hey, go for it. Well, I think
kid is I think he's underrated right now. I think as much as he is 100%. The highest talked about, biggest story in all of sports, he's the biggest story in all of sports right now. And I think I was talking with my friend this morning. I think he's underrated. His ability, he was conservative with his legs last night. He was incredibly conservative. He had multiple opportunities to cut up field and maybe break a longer one, but he knows. I was telling my girlfriend Morgan and my friend Millen, I was watching most of the game with, I was telling them, I said, he knows he can pass in this league for the next 15 years with his arm. But his legs could take him out at any minute. And he's being conservative with his legs. He's only making the plays with his legs when he has to. And that maturity and that poise, it was pointed out by my friend Millen. He said the fact that he recognizes that as a rookie is unheard of. It's sensational. He is so special, this kid. He is, there are not words for it. It is unprecedented. It has never been seen before in football and, in my opinion, in sports. This is the best rookie performance I've ever seen in my life, will ever see in my life. It's not going to get better than this. This is unbelievable. And yeah, this is the worst roster he's ever going to have. This is the least amount of experience he's ever going to have. This is the least amount of chemistry with his supporting cast he's ever going to have. This is the worst offensive line he's ever going to have. Like, all of those things are only trending better. I'm not saying we're going to go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl next year. I'm not saying that. There will be ups and downs. There will be bumps. Any given Sunday, it's the NFL. I'm sure he'll have 3 interception game one day where just nothing's coming to him. But damn if it doesn't seem more and more unlikely with every snap the kid takes. He's unbelievable.
I didn't expect it to come this quick. And I certainly hesitate to say too much because, we've all been burned before, and yeah, is there a chance this is a one-year wonder? Sure. It's possible. I think injury or something freakish would have to happen for that to be the case. But, I think this team is set up for a multi-year championship run. It's come a lot faster. And I think the thing is, what do the 4 guys we named have in common, right? They can all put the team on their back and carry their team to victory, right? Fair, Pat, Allen, Lamar, Burrow.
Yep.
The only other guy I think you could say can do that is Jaden. I don't think there's another name. I think everyone else in the mix are some other good quarterbacks. They need some help. Now, maybe some of these other young guys that out of the draft might develop into that kind of player.
Yeah.
We've seen some spurts here and there.
Yeah. The Jordan Loves of the world, the Justin Herberts of the world. Shout out to cousin Robert, who gave me a congratulation call from New York, Giants fan. Shout out. He said he was going to watch. Hope you're awesome. Watching. Text me if you did. Said to say hi to you, by the way. Yeah.
What's up, Robert? What one of his next sentences, what a great player, but what a great kid.
Yeah.
And that is as important as everything. Always says the right thing. It's genuine. First in the building. Gives all the glory, up to, his teammates, God, And, if you're into that kind of thing or not, that's up to you. But it's an amazing thing to see out of a young man, and the humbleness that he has. And when he talks about it, it's just another game. It's just another game. I'm not even thinking about, what this all means, right? It's just another game. And I don't know, man. It's getting a little too deep, but I think that 33 years of suffering to just be rewarded with a season like this. And one of the reasons we couldn't pod last night was the emotions were running high. We had to recover a little bit from that.
Yeah.
I'm really so happy for you, more so than for me, because the fans of your age group, the people you were watching with, we had a great comment from a commenter talking about loving the pod, and he's got a similar situation with his son, similar ages to us.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm so happy for the fan base, especially the younger ones. But I tell you what, going from 24 years old to now, you guys can do the math, I guess, at this point, on Pop's age, to not that suffering, that success we had just seems so far in the distance. And, we had a little text thread going, and you see the emotions going from everybody in that text thread. We kind of suppressed our love for this team. We had to protect ourselves, and now we're just, everyone's just letting it go. And it's amazing. Sorry for all the talking, but.
No, it's great, Pop. It's great. It's just sensational, man. There's nothing but good stuff to say about what's been happening here. It's been amazing for this fan base. We brought this team, the city back. I was trying to explain to Morgan what this team means to DC. Obviously, she's not a DC native. It's just incredible. But getting back to that,
I'll say one thing: like, we're all fans of other teams, right? But the fandom that we have in other sports or whatever thing. But I think what's a common thread is the emotion and the fandom that we all have for this team is a different level. Yep. We love the Terps. We love the Wiz. We love our favorite soccer teams in Europe and here at home. But there's something different about being a Washington Redskin football team Commander fan. It's another level. Brings the community together, brings the family together. It's amazing.
And I see people, we saw a lady, we took our dog to go get a bath. And we saw a lady yesterday morning walking down the street in Studio City, California in a Jaden Daniels jersey. And I rolled down my window. I screamed at her. I said, "Go Commanders!" And
yes, sir.
Fist pump back. I have people stop me on the street. I had somebody stop me in the bar last night. He's a Giants fan. He saw me in the jersey and they were playing the highlights. It's Pacific time and we're in the wee hours of the morning at this point. So they're playing the Sports Center highlights of the game. And I'm holding up my hand like that. Like I'm watching the game live, watching the highlights. And the guy comes up to me and he goes, "Listen, man," he goes, "I'm a Giants fan." And at first I was like, "Well, we're gonna have to
Are we doing this?
Yeah.
Are we doing this?
You caught me on a bad night, brother. I'm riding way too high." And he's like, "I just want to say, God bless you and that team and what Jaden has done for the team. That's a fantastic jersey. You deserve this, what you guys have been through. This is amazing for you. I wish you guys nothing but the best." I just said, "Thank you. That's incredible." But that's happening in North Hollywood, California. Like, do you understand what this franchise means to the NFL, means to this country, means to the city of DC? Like, that is not, that doesn't happen with Rams fans in, Oklahoma. Like we're on the other side of the world from this stuff. A Rams fan does not run into somebody like that in New York City. Like, this is completely what this franchise means.
It's like taking the cork off a champagne bottle and you're working it out. It's a particular difficult one. Before this game, we were right there, right? That the cork was just about there. This game popped that bottle, and this fan base is now overflowing over the top of that bottle because I think there is no stopping it at this point. And, we are going to the NFC Championship. That blows my mind, going from 4-13 last season to an NFC Championship game the amount of roster turnover we had. Adam Peters, just incredible. Dan Quinn, incredible. Ben Johnson might have a regret or two about him. And, look, I'm sure he's a great coach still, but he got out-coached by our boy Cliff last night.
And our boy Joe.
Yes.
And our boy Dan.
Who one of those two may not be with us next year. And we're going to have to recover from that because I think the deeper run we make, Cliff's cachet. I'm not sure Joe's quite there yet, although he probably deserves it every bit as much, if not more, than Cliff. But they're both going to be head coaches in this league. Again for Cliff and new for Joe before too much longer, which is going to suck for us. But
well, the flip side of that is we are going to be a very attractive destination for coordinators because this is going to be a launching pad for head coaching jobs. To get back to the game, I want to finish our middle eight breakdown. There's less to talk about in the second half, but I want to finish those middle 8 minutes
quick
and then get into our awards. If you didn't think this podcast was going to run long, guys, I don't know what you thought.
You don't know
happen.
us.
I mean, get on here and do a quick 15 after I was crying on the bathroom floor last night, saying this is the best night of my life. We were going to get through a 15-minute podcast.
I was on the phone with him.
No way. It got worse after I got off the phone with Pop. But so you get that Quan Martin pick 6. Detroit comes right back. Jameson Williams scores that touchdown. Just the most dynamic, probably other than Jahmyr Gibbs, the most dynamic skill position player on either side of the ball there. I mean, just an unbelievable talent that kid is. He's so fast when he gets going. It's just, and it feels like he takes one step and he's at his top speed. Like his acceleration is incredible and he's so quick. Scores that touchdown. Crowd's back into it. It's 24-21. We hit the big shot to Diami. We score a touchdown, 70 plays, 70 yards. There's still 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. And I'm sitting there going, we cannot let them score a touchdown here. We got to go into the half.
At least hold them to 3.
At least 6. Hold them to 3, right? Hold them to 3. And then, sure enough, the boy, Mikey Saverstill, your defensive rookie of the year, the best draft pick Adam Peters made in this draft, trading back, trading away from
Second
really
best.
Hyped up. Well, Jaden was a layup, but yes. You had, second best. It's the degree of difficulty on this. The degree of difficulty on this pick was a lot higher. Trading back away from Cooper DeJean, who's a great defensive back that's now in Philly, trading with your division rival to get this kid. And he makes a fantastic play in the end zone, intercepts Jared Goff off of Jameson Williams, who'd had him beat earlier in the game for a deep shot that Goff overthrew. Mikey ran that route for Jameson. He ran that route better than Jameson Williams ran it. Let me remind you all, this is his 3rd year playing cornerback ever. As a rookie in the NFL, we get on here and we say that this might be the hardest position to play in pro sports, playing defensive back in the NFL, right? This is his 3rd year playing the position ever. His first 2 years at Michigan, he was a wide receiver. This kid is
a little bit of upside there, I think is the point.
So incredibly talented, makes the interception, just such a key play, ends the half, we kneel it down. Funny thing my buddy pointed out at this point is that he tried to return that interception. We ended up like on the 10, couldn't do much with it. Had he maybe taken a knee, we would have had 10 more seconds and been on the 20. Maybe have a thought about being more aggressive. Didn't end up mattering, but just makes an incredible play on that interception. Gets us to the end of the half up 10. We come out, we punt. Detroit scores a touchdown. This is my last point of the breakdown, these next 2 drives here. I know Pop's getting antsy. We punt, 3 and out, worst thing that could happen, right? Detroit scores a touchdown, 3-point game, crowd's back in it. We respond with a 15-play, 70-yard, 8-minute, 30-second drive down the field to respond, score another touchdown, and then Detroit, which I said in the pregame pod, I had a bold prediction. I forgot to get to it. My bold prediction was that we were going to get a turnover on one of Ben Johnson's trick plays. And sure enough, puts the ball in the hands of Jameson Williams, and Jameson Williams throws the football. Now, Ben Johnson, I know you're a big fan of basketball. I know you're a big basketball guy. In football, you want your quarterback throwing passes in key moments in football. I know you're a big basketball guy, Ben Johnson. I know you're a big basketball guy.
Well, it's a sign of desperation. There's a sign of desperation there, right? And that was a great play by Mikey for sure.
Great play by Mikey Samerstill, and so awesome because the comments that Ben Johnson made about this franchise and the way that he handled that, I don't like that guy at all. And I've tried to be professional and nice about it because, we're going to run into him, whatever. Have a blast over at the Raiders, and then Dan Campbell will welcome you back in 2 or 3 years as another offensive coordinator. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. I think we should get on to the awards. Love it.
Not bad for a few basketball guys. We end up 45-28.
We talked about that last pod. That was an absolute ignorant statement. Go back, watch that one. But, yeah.
I'm having too much fun over here, apparently, but we'll get over to the awards segment. For our awards.
Well, I love it, by the way. I'm not being critical. But the bullet said Mike Sanderson with 2 big interceptions on either side of the half. And Dominic gave you like the breakdown, which was great, of how important how important each one of those plays were, and they were critical. And that's why that's a great example of it wasn't just JD5. JD5 is the difference. He's the stirrer that mixed the drink. He makes it all happen. He puts it all together. But there were a lot of great players and plays in this game, which we're about to get into in our award section. How about that for lead-in? Let's do this.
Heck of a segue there, Pop. We are going to have to make a quick adjustment on the awards with some breaking news here. But that'll be for our kick hots. That's later. Sauce Award, who else? Jaden Daniels, 22 for 31, 299 yards passing for a career high, 2 touchdowns, 16 carries for 51 yards. I was saying to Morgan, I was like, you know what? Can we just throw a little screen, or like a quick hitch or something just to get Jaden over 300 now that we're kind of in garbage? Like I was almost kind of rooting for like a little 3rd and long situation where he had to just get a yard, because he was I wanted him to get that first 300-yard marker, but who cares? Dude's unbelievable. Just special talent. 350 total yards of offense from Jaden Daniels last night. What more can you say? Helmet stickers on the offense. Terry McLaurin, 4 catches, 87 yards, and that key touchdown we talked about earlier. De'Ami Brown, 6 catches for 98 yards. That certainly looks like wide receiver 2 numbers. Austin Eckler, 6 runs for 47 yards, 4 catches for 41 yards. Both of me and Pop's predictions coming up big so far for this postseason between De'Ami and Eckler. They've both been key. Eckler's, I'd like to see him back again next year if he wants.
He's under contract, I think.
Brian Robinson Jr., left hand up. My bad. I wrote you off early. I was not happy with the way you've been performing. I stand by it. You were not performing well, but you showed us why the team is sticking with you, why you're supposed to be stuck with here. Great job for you last night. 15 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Please continue this. There was no guy I love to see hot more than Brian Robinson Jr. when he was hot, which is probably why it hurt me so much when he wasn't playing well. But I'm happy to see you back, and I hope you keep it up, man.
Yeah, I think there was a guest on B. Mitch and Finley's show that talked about maybe this confidence got shook. He didn't look like a confident player.
Yeah.
Seemed like they got him juiced up. He was rolling this game. I love to see how we got that run game going. It was really good to see that run game going. Got to give credit to the offensive line. I think you're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, yeah, I would say that'd be my quick comment because we've already spent time on the receivers. Eckler and Robinson were big in this game.
Yeah,
Big.
absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Defensively, helmet stickers, I would almost motion to make this a co-sauce award. I can't say enough about the guy. Rookie, Mike Saverstill, number
He could get the
0.
defensive sauce. That's good. Playoff
Defensive
football.
sauce award. Yeah, I think when your
Nomination
defense,
approved.
yeah, there you go. When your defense shows up the way that they showed up yesterday, you give out a defensive sauce award, and that's Mike Saverstill, man. 2 interceptions, 5 tackles, 2 passes defended, fantastic. Marshawn Lattimore recorded a much humbler stat sheet, and that is because he had 1 target, 0 catches, 0 yards on him last night. 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss.
He was physical out
targeted
there.
once. He's so good in the run game, man. I think that's a big part of why they like him so much. Yeah. He's so good in the run game, and he's back in shape.
Right. He's going to be all right. Just got to stay healthy.
And I think the strategy of using him to lock down one half of the field and then forcing them to roll towards Chin, Quan, and Mike Saverstill, who all came up huge in moments, was right. I don't think necessarily I want him following guys anymore. But either way, it seems like they found how to use him, and he's showing up now. Jeremy Chin, 12 tackles, led the team, game-winning interception, 1 pass defended. Tell you what, yesterday's price is not going to be today's price on Jeremy Chin if we want to bring him back next year. He's been fantastic. He's been a key piece of this defense. I hope we bring him back, multi-year deal. Young guy, very talented. And then Pop's got Dorrance Armstrong on here as well. 2 sacks with the sack fumble, which was such a key play, just so smart.
He had a monster game.
2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits. I want to give Fowler Jr. a shout out as well. I think that first tackle for loss set the tone. He had multiple great tackles in the run game. That would have been another key tackle out of stickers. For loss.
There's definitely some honorable mentions. Face mask,
Luvu. Yeah. Quan Martin, the pick 6 has got to be on there.
Quan Martin. I mean, I tried to
This one is just as much about the way the defense played as it is the offense. And we have not said that yet this year, and we knew that that's what it was going to have to take to beat this team, and that's what we got.
Well, now, all of a sudden, like, you're going to NFC Championship game. Who knows what comes after that? I don't even want to say it because I don't want to jinx anything. One game at a time, right? Philly or LA. We can talk about that super quick. But, re-signing some of these guys is going to start to be like more and more important. The more success you have, this team chemistry. I'm not sure there's going to be some changes. If there should be some upgrades. But bringing a guy like Chin back, and there are many other names, we're not going to talk about that now because we're already 42 minutes in. It's a great example by you, right? He's a guy we got to bring back. Or hopefully we can. Bring back. Yeah. Let's get into kick-outs.
Kick-outs of the game was originally the phantom face mask call on Fowler. That led to the Detroit score, which made it 31-28.
Let me comment on that real quick before you move on, because I know where you're going. On that face mask call, awful. Like you said, leads to that score, right? Why isn't that reviewable? Can someone explain that to me logically? Why isn't it reviewable?
Yeah. It should be very simple. If they throw a flag for face mask and you can see that
there was zero contact with the
not even that it was close. I'm not talking about if the hand is anywhere near it.
Yeah, if it grazes it or whatever, leave it.
Fine. But he's on the shoulder, and it was just because the ref, why are you throwing the flag if you can't see the face mask? You shouldn't be allowed to throw a face mask flag if you can't see the face mask. It's just because of the way he ripped his body around him.
You got to see that. You've got to see that foul. Good point.
Horrible, horrible call. And it was that is such a punishing penalty, that face mask penalty, because 15 yards at a first down. Such a punishing penalty, especially on 3rd down. That should be instantly reviewable. I agree. If we're able to kind of call down and say, the ball hit the ground, turn it over real quick, we should be able to get that right, because that's just as important. But honestly, what is so much more important than all of it, and just the worst news you could have got this morning, Sam Cosmi out for the rest of the season, tore his ACL last night, the way he got rolled up on. That's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, you could tell by the way Dan Quinn was talking in his presser that it wasn't good. And terrible happens at the end of the season, that guy, I'm sure it's going to kill him not to be in the NFC Championship game. He certainly deserves it. I thought Trent Scott did a fantastic job filling in for him.
For sure. Shout out Trent Scott.
Yeah, very sad for Sam Cosmi.
Awful. You want to talk about a guy that deserves it as much, if not more, than any.
And the later that happens in the season, the tough it's going to be for him to be ready for the beginning of next year. He
won't be.
We're probably looking at mid-year before he's back out there.
Yeah, it's just devastating. I mean, you're probably looking at like a middle of October return.
It really shows how these players put their body on the line.
Yeah. Really sad, and just a key piece of that offensive line.
But good for him that he got signed to that extension, though.
Yes.
I'm sure he'll battle back. He's a tough kid.
No question about that, and I'm sure the guys will have a little extra spark for him, but you would have loved to have him out there. That is just so sad. But
turning it around a little bit, 60 seconds or less. We're mid-game. Rams, Eagles, we'll know. By the time people are watching this, we'll know. Any preference? Super fast.
Nope.
I agree. I think you could, playing the Eagles would be so cool because it's NFC East battle. But obviously the weather, the elements, that's a tough team, great defense. They're proving out to be two pretty even teams, at least at this point in the game. It's 13-10 Eagles, live check-in. But, I think the Rams, I like the fact that it's neutral site from a weather perspective. I think our fans will travel. There's already a ton of LA plans. Who knows if I'll end up getting a ticket. But,
could have impact on the retirement.
We're in the NFC Championship game. It's amazing. What a run by this team. As far as I'm concerned, we're already winners.
Yeah.
And I think there's no reason why not us. There's every chance that we're going to take this next game, and then we can really go crazy. But
you want to talk. I mean, you want to talk about house money. You talked about house money going into this week. You just knocked off the Detroit Lions. There's no more. There are things left to do. There is stuff on the table. But you want to talk about playing with house money. And Pop, to your point, did I have a preference on who we play? No, I ain't scared of either of y'all. I'll say it right now. I ain't scared of either of y'all, number one. And number two, y'all would have rather seen Detroit, and you know it. So let's get it.
Well, we're way past the point of being scared of an opponent to play. We're past that point. We've proven ourselves to be past that point. So
damn straight.
And I think sneakily, one last point, then we wrap. For me, anyway. I like that extra day of rest.
Yep.
I like that. It was tough to go into short week and play that game, but getting that extra day of rest is helpful, especially because we got to go back on the road again.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And rest up we shall. I know there's going to be a lot of resting done over here. I definitely need that extra day of rest after my performance last night. So I think it's about time we wrap this thing up.
Let's do it.
What a day, man. What a day to be a Washington Commanders fan. What a year to be a Washington Commanders fan. Well, guys, it's been a blast. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. And without further ado, let's wrap this thing up. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thank you for another great week, everybody. And hail to the Commanders.
Hail.